LegacyMaker, the all sports network.
The place is here and the time is now. Let's take it round for round. And people gather round. Let's see who can win the crown. All the marbles involved. Football, baseball, or golf. Who's dominating the hoops? Who's talking false or the truth? Yeah, come and show me your war face. I'll show you my war face. No holds barred, so for your sake, you better show up in good shape. Valuable information is key to your domination. So focus on preparation. Online is your reputation. Yeah, it's one-on-one. You and me, ain't no fear in me. You will see. When it comes to this, you'll be wearing the number 23. In debate, I hold my weight, cause these sports I'm attached to it. Your legacy, get ready, cause I'm gonna set a match to it. Hey. Burn 'em. Fire, 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 burn 'em. Fire, 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 burn 'em. Fire, 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 legacy on fire. Fire, 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 burn 'em. Fire, 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 legacy on fire. Fire, 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 burn 'em. Fire, 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 legacy on fire.
This week's panel, Jay Quimby, Joe Dillard Jr., and special guests, L.A. Broadus of the 3-Point Conversion and Richard Tieman of the F.A.N Show.
Oh, what is up, ladies and gentlemen? It's so glad to have you all here with us for another episode of Legacy on Fire. I'm your host, Darrell Owens, and with me today, I got a group of gentlemen ready to get the fire going here and talk up some great topics here in the sports world. And of course, I'm going to go ahead and start off by introducing everybody. First and foremost, let me start off with my man. He's my partner in crime. He is my, co-host on the LegacyMaker Sports Podcast, and he is also the co-founder of the LegacyMaker Sports Network, Mr. Jeremiah Quimby. What is up, sir?
I'm just blessed to be here. Got something special for one of our panelists. Darrell, let me know when you're ready to toss it up.
I'm ready, man. I'm ready.
Okay, LA, I just want to tell you, you're like the most succulent surf and turf that I've ever seen in my life, bro.
Oh, yes. Yes. Lovely.
Look, man. Well, look, we've been waiting for that one. Let me go ahead and toss to my man, LA, from the 3-Point Conversion. LA, how you doing today, brother?
Doing well, doing even better after seeing that picture. But I do have a question for Mr. Quimby.
What's up?
What is in your milkshake that brings all the boys to the yacht?
Next time I'm up in Ohio, I'll let you get a sample.
Oh my goodness!
Oh, get out there.
Let's go. Let's go to my man who is he is the founder, one of the co-founders of the Combo Sports Talk, also here on the LegacyMaker Sports Network. My man, Mr. Joe Dillard. What's up, Joe?
What's going on, everybody? Another day in paradise. Season 4 coming soon. Don't be sleeping.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. 15 days, y'all. 15 days. And of course, last but not least, my man Richard Tieman from the F.A.N Show and the social media specialist for the Omaha Beef. What is up, sir? How you doing today?
Oh, excited. We got postseason this Friday, so it's nice to have a little break from the chaos. So happy to join the rest of you boys.
All right, y'all. So look, we're here to get things going. We're going to start things off, of course, with quick takes here to see what everybody do on some topics that we got going. And of course, we'll get into our main topics, and then of course, a little bit later, we'll put out the fire. But we're going to start this one with the NBA Finals. Of course, the NBA Finals are going on here. We've seen Game 1 happen last night, where the Phoenix Suns won 118-105. But I want to give this panel an opportunity to tell us who they think is going to win the NBA Finals and why. So first off, I'm going to start off with my man, Mr. Joe Dillard. Joe, who's going to win the NBA Finals and why, sir?
Suns or Bucks, huh? I believe the Suns, it might be their time. And I mean that in the sense that the Bucks have put in a lot of work overcoming adversity with the bubble, with the LeBron time, with Giannis finally making it to the finals. But with injury plague being the key of this NBA Finals this year, I think Phoenix is going to prevail with a determined Chris Paul. I think Chris Paul is the equalizer that makes all of them go in Phoenix. So if he's on the court, I've got Phoenix in 6.
All right. Jay, we're coming to you.
I agree with Joe 100% because, I mean, Giannis, I expected, him to do what he did, but then you didn't see much from Middleton. My only concern is with, I'm going to chop up his name, Saric, tearing the ligament in his leg because, depth is a key so you can give people breaks. But Chris Paul is hungry, and all them first-round picks that the Suns had for so many, they're finally starting to play. So I want to see the Suns win.
Man, go to Richard next. Rich, what are you thinking about this finals? Who's going to win this bad boy?
This is a tough one for me because I don't follow basketball religiously like a lot of people, but it's ironic because this is not the reason why. I don't follow it because it's too many of the same names and faces that we see year after year. And here we've got a never have I ever and one that hasn't won since like 68. So I couldn't be more happy for the NBA right now to get some finally fresh faces in there. I've got a lot of people that are friends of mine in Wisconsin that I know are pulling for Milwaukee because they've gotten so close the last couple of years. But, man, if you're the Suns, you were in the bubble, you went undefeated, and you didn't have a shot at getting a ring down in Disney World. And that just, to me, seems like the greatest robbery in sports. So I got to go with the Suns. Never have I ever. Do it for Barkley. Come on, man. Like, let's go.
Let's do it for the round mound, baby. LA, what are your thoughts on this one, brother?
I'm actually leaning the same way as everybody else. I'm picking the Suns in 6. I've been very impressed with how Jay Crowder has been playing defense for them. DeAndre Ayton has had a coming out party this entire playoffs. I mean, he's just been absolutely consistent with the scoring and the rebounding. And I just got to ask y'all, is everybody named Cameron in the NBA right now? Because it seemed like, they got Cam Johnson, Cam Payne. I mean, what other Cams are there? It's like everybody, but they hooping. They are definitely hooping. So, I want the Suns to get it. I want Chris Paul to get his ring. He needs to go ahead and be able to join LeBron and his boys, and get that ring. So I don't see the Suns dropping this because Chris Paul has that light in his eye. Like it's just a dog in him right now. And so I got the Suns winning in 6.
It's funny because I look at it and I say, I would say these are Cam Newton babies, but I don't know if Cam Newton was.
That's what I thought.
I don't know if Cam Newton was, popping around that time. So, but yeah, I got the Suns in this one. Look, I picked the Suns to go to the finals against the Nets, and I was wrong on that end. So I got to stick with the team I had going out of the West. I'm going to stick with the Suns. Now we head to the next quick take, and we're going to talk about the San Francisco 49ers. Now we got one of our panelists that are kind of close to the San Francisco 49ers team, but the San Francisco 49ers last year, tough year, injuries. They were coming off a Super Bowl year the year before, getting to the Super Bowl and just this close. The question at hand, fellas, is this, can the 49ers bounce back in 2021? And I'm going to start off, I got to start with the man, Richard. Richard, what are your thoughts on this?
Well, yeah, they can. I mean, it's one of those seasons you look back on last year and you're like 6-10 for a team that I don't believe suffered from a true Super Bowl hangover. I mean, they came out the gate and it was just injuries. Like, here's one, you get one, you get one. Like, Oprah's giving out injuries to this team, and yet they still rattled off 6 wins somehow. Close to 500 season. But I mean, absolutely. It's if everybody gets back and is healthy and they have that same chemistry that they did, the biggest question mark then will be who's the quarterback, who is leading this team. And I know that the drafting of Trey Lance has been a big indicator that Shanahan and company no longer trust Jimmy Garoppolo, and they're looking to make that transition. Will it be an Pat Mahomes type of transition? I don't know, but they're this close to winning the Super Bowl, and now they're going to be probably this close to getting back to one. So absolutely, they'll be right back.
All right, my man. First buzzer of the night, ladies and gentlemen. Richard, but you got it just in the nick of time there. I'm going to go to LA on this one. What about this 49ers team, man? Can they bounce back this year?
Absolutely. Like Richard said, I mean, they're healthier, right?
Oh, man, did LA disappear on that? Oh, no.
He said absolutely. Let's move on.
All right, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna swing to Joe real quick, and then we'll come back to LA once he unfreezes. What do we got? That's what happened live, man. When you're live, that's what happens. Joe, go ahead and give me what you got, brother.
Resetting my clock. Absolutely not. They will not return to form. Well, let me just take it out of context. They may return to form, but let me tell you what's changed. Arizona has changed. Seattle is still there, and the Rams now have a quarterback where they've got a defense going along with that. The grind that they have to go through is going to look like last year where they went 6-10. And if they don't figure out this quarterback position, because every other quarterback in their division looks to be the franchise guy for their team, they're going to produce. So is the 49ers going to produce enough to get enough wins to get to that chip? Because this is going to be a dogfight coming out of that division, and that division is loaded.
Yeah, that division is a loaded division, and that's the thing. I mean, it's going to be a dogfight in that division. Now we're going to go back to LA.
Yeah, I'm sorry. My
we live, baby. We live. We're going to go back to LA. LA, give me your thoughts on that bad boy one more time, brother.
No, I was saying that I think they could return back to form. I mean, that was uncharacteristic last year, and then with all the injuries, they're healthier now. They still have the same coach. They got a good system in place. The only question mark is going to be the quarterbacks, of course, and then I'm also going to be keeping an eye on my boy Trey Sermon as well out there.
Yeah, I'm intrigued to see what this 49ers team could do myself. I'm going to go to Jay on this one. Jay, what are your thoughts on this 49ers team, brother?
Yeah, everybody's worried about the quarterback, and I'm going to piggyback a little bit off of because Trey Sermon running in this zone blocking scheme is a faster version of Alfred Morris. As long as they can play defense, I think they'll be fine. Yes, you got to face the Rams and the Cardinals. Besides the Rams, who's got a decent defense in this league or in that division? And then, they could make the playoff or a wild card because the NFC South is not quite as stout as it used to be.
All right. So Richard, what they're saying is there's some hope. There's definitely some hope coming back to the way of the 49ers. In my opinion, I feel like defensively, they're going to be ready to rock and roll again. And I would be remiss if I didn't hear love from the wife on there. Whoop, whoop, can't go wrong there. The missus chiming in there, giving love to the wifey. But yeah, so I mean, I think this 49ers team, in my opinion, are going to be a team. If they get the quarterback situation together, they're going to be ready to rock and roll. All right.
John Gruden can do it with Brad Johnson. There's no reason that he can't do it with
exactly.
Even Josh Rosen, man. Like, come on.
All right, next one. We're heading to Cleveland. And we got another panelist of ours that is kind of close to this situation. Look, last year Cleveland finally did what a lot of us thought they could do with the talent that they have on that team. And Kevin Stefanski comes in and makes that thing happen. They start clicking on cylinders. That running game is phenomenal. And now we start to think, it's almost time to start to think about paying Baker. So we want to get with the guys here and kind of wonder, hey, is it time to pay Baker Mayfield, get him set for the long term? Is he the long-term guy? And we already know who I'm starting with on this one. LA, is this the move, my man?
Absolutely, it is. And I will actually go one up on that and say that they need to get it done before Josh Allen gets his contract. Because if Josh Allen gets his contract, then Cleveland might be paying Baker a little bit more than they actually want to. But yeah, lock up Baker. He had a phenomenal second half of the season. And if you look at the season that Cleveland had, especially going through all the COVID stuff, their coach being out, during the playoffs and everything. I mean, like they went through a lot of adversity. And Baker showed up, and even with OBJ going out when he did, I believe against the Bengals, there's a lot of topics out there where people are saying, is he better without OBJ? Is he better with them? In my opinion, I think he's better with them still because OBJ, even if he wasn't throwing to him, he's still a great decoy and gets a lot of other people open. So I think it's time to go ahead and lock up Baker, especially before Josh Allen or Lamar Jackson gets their deals.
I feel you on that one. I definitely feel you on because Josh Allen about to get paid. I'm just saying. Let's go to Mr. Quimby. What are your thoughts on this bad boy here?
I need to see another year of consistency out of him, to be honest. I mean, I agree with not wanting to match or beat what Allen or Jackson has, but This is the first time he's been under 14 interceptions. He had a good passer rating, making good decisions. But then you also got to look at the rest of the team that they're going to have to pay a lot of people to keep this team together.
Yeah,
So
I mean, and that's gonna be a little bit of a scary part there, sir. That's definitely gonna be a scary part. Mr. Joe Dillard, what are your thoughts on this bad boy?
Well, it's coming from the Cleveland side, and my thoughts are we'll refer back to a movie, Major League LA, since you're not a big baseball referencing guy, and the big two guys in the outfield when Cleveland stank, then they always said they'll blow it in the ninth. They'll blow it in the ninth. What about that? So my theory is if Cleveland doesn't get this right with him, they'll blow this whole operation up. He needs to take on the Tom Brady approach. Cleveland needs to say, hey, you need to be like Tom Brady. Now, whether he takes it as, oh, win rings, or if he takes it however he wants to, what Cleveland's trying to say is, buddy, we need you to sign a 5-year, $80 million deal because we have a lot of pieces that are coming back that are going to continue to keep us competing and you getting a chance to win rings. If you don't agree to that, we can't bring you back. I think it's that simple for Cleveland.
Yeah, oh man, that's a really good one on that one. Now, Richard, I'm gonna swing to you on this one, brother. What about Cleveland, man? They signed Baker long term now?
I think if you can lock him up for a reasonable price, yeah, but I wouldn't expect him to set the market or come close to it. I mean, the Pat Mahomes contract was ridiculous in every sense of the word, but he got a ring, and he showed that he can be their long-term guy. And of course, barring some crazy injury, he's going to bring them a lot of years of success. But, you look back at guys like Joe Flacco and Matt Ryan that got these big contracts, and they didn't really do anything with them except just like one got to a Super Bowl and one, the other got to a Super Bowl, but then they just fizzled out after that. And so it's because they weren't able to help them. And what they've done in Cleveland is build around Baker Mayfield. And so I would say that there's been a lot of trust earned between him and the coaching staff. Keep that there. Have open discussions. I get wanting to get paid, but you can't expect to pay a guy for something he got close to doing. You need to pay a guy that's gotten you there, like what Seattle did with Russell Wilson. You were paying him for what he already did with Seattle, not what he was going to do with Seattle.
All right. So there it is on that to get this thing opened up here. Some really good takes on this. Me personally, I kind of got to agree with LA here. You want to pay him before Josh Allen gets the big dough there. But also what Joe says, hey, man, if you can go ahead and get him on that cheaper pricing and be able to sign the other guys right off the bat, hey, why not? Why not? All right, y'all. Now we're going to head to our main topics on the show. And for those who are joining us for the first time, this is how it breaks down. Each panelist, we got 3 rounds. Each panelist will have 1 minute on each topic to give their opinion. And then they will have an opportunity to fire back 30 seconds after their fellow person has went, and they'll get a chance to rebuttal and say what they need to say there. And then, of course, after this, we will have the put out the fire segment. Now, we're going to start this one off with probably the hottest topic in sports right now. And that's all about this young lady who is not going to get a chance to run in the Olympics, and Sha'Carri Richardson. It is a hot button topic. This thing is all over the place for certain people. Some people think she should run. Some people think she shouldn't run. And I want to ask this wonderful panel on their thoughts on that. And should they run it? I'm going to start this one with a guy who kind of knows his way around the track. You know what I'm saying? And Mr. Joe Dillard. Joe, what are your thoughts on this process, brother?
You took the words right out of my mouth. I ran track, so I got a little sympathetic thought to it. I don't think that substance increases or enhances the performance in any stretch of the manner. However, I'm kind of two ways with this because the rules, and this is a once in a lifetime opportunity. You don't get this opportunity too often. So to know the guidelines and still kind of be on the tightrope and to play with it is kind of makes me wonder. But at the end of the day, this is something that is not affecting her ability to do what she does best. And what she does best, nobody else can do. And it isn't because of that substance. It's because of her putting in all that hard work and effort. So you hate to see that happen off of that rule. It's kind of like, some type of far left rule that doesn't seem to be affecting the actual event. It's one of those things where it's categorized as a drug. So, hey, I mean, two people, two sides. I see both, but at the end of the day, it is a big loss on her end, and it's going to really affect her long term. So I hope she has a mental state of mind to recover and bounce back.
All right. Oh, I'm going to say, Richard, what are your thoughts on this topic, brother?
Man, this topic makes me mad for several reasons. So I'm from Washington State originally, and I remember when we legalized it there, like you saw dispensaries starting to pop up all over the place, and people were just like, yeah, we can finally do something that we've been doing like every day, because there was a lot of people from California, and they're like, yeah, we do it every day, but now it's like legal and it's okay. But there were so many jobs that still drug tested because they were federally regulated. And so it just creates this really contradicting picture where you have a legal substance, but then all these penalties as if it's illegal. And a lot of people want to throw out the Josh Gordon comparison, which I get, but it's a dumb comparison, because that whole thing started like 6 years ago when it wasn't legal in 19 states. It was maybe not even legal yet in any of the states. And the rules of the NFL hadn't changed at all, just like the legality in states elsewhere hadn't changed at all. So I think she should run, but there's going to be a lot of people that say, well, what about all these other exceptions? You're going to have to weigh them in a case-by-case basis, but the rules got to change.
All right, LA, we head to you on this one, brother. What are your thoughts on this?
I'm kind of like Joe on this one because I'm a former track athlete as well. I've been running my entire life. So on one standpoint, I'm definitely sympathetic to it. However, however dumb the rule is, though, it's a dumb rule, but it's still a rule, at the end of the day. The rule is there ultimately, if you look at the bigger pictures, because of the pharmaceutical companies. They losing a bunch of money now because people are, using cannabis to go ahead and help them out with their stress, their anxiety, their injuries, different things like that. Because like I said, if she had just went through losing her mother. So, I mean, she was using that as a coping mechanism when a doctor would have threw a bunch of pills at her and said, hey, go ahead and take all these pills, which, hurts you even more. So, like I said, I ain't here to debate, if you want to do cannabis or not. It's a dumb rule, but it still is a rule. And she was definitely aware of it. It wasn't like she was caught off guard or surprised. So just hopefully the young lady can bounce back.
All right. Jay, we head to you on this one. What are your thoughts on this one, brother?
My thoughts are plain simple. She knew the rules, broke the rules. I understand, her loss. But the thing is this is for the Olympics, and if you look, the United States is one of very few countries in the world where cannabis is legal in a lot of the states. I got into a debate with the soon-to-be wife about this, and I started looking. Hell, even Afghanistan, marijuana is illegal, and I mean, hell, they're the biggest poppy seed distributor on the planet. So it's one of those things where the Olympics is a world competition, not just the United States. So that's where the rule, you got to think bigger. So, hopefully, like they said, she can bounce back, get it right. She knew she was going to be tested. This all falls on her.
All right, Joe, your chance to fire back, my man.
I will say something, though. It is quite obvious the impact it's already had when UFC and Boxing Commission has already denounced that they will not test for marijuana for their boxers and fighters. That is something indicating something bigger than the sport. It is indicating mental health, because if they are recovering from a fight or a boxing match, they're on something to bring down the pain. And it should be in the form of a pill where pharmaceuticals are getting money. So that's my little spill on that right there.
All right. We're going to swing over to Richard. Here's your chance to fire back, brother.
I don't like that it's being treated like it's steroids, because it's not. I mean, it's an illegal substance, and places all over the world, it's starting to become more of the norm. And so I think that there needs to be revisions and changes to the rules quicker than obviously what we're seeing, because although it's the Olympic Committee, so the whole world, and their rules are their rules for everybody, every country is different. And that's where I think a lot of people are getting heated up. It's like, it's legal in 19 states. Like, why are we still having this talk?
All right. LA, we'll swing to you on this one. What are your chances to fire back?
Not too much. I mean, because first of all, I'm not a big weed smoker, but when I have, look, a brother slowed down. I slowed all the way down. Okay. Ain't no way I was sprinting at no Olympic speed. So big ups to her because I slowed all the way down. And then secondly, I'm definitely proud of her just by. I mean, she came out and owned it. She didn't skate around it. She didn't make no excuses. She said she did it. So I'm glad that she was able to own it. Yeah, we're still debating it here and there, but she's moved past it.
All right, Jay, your chance to fire back, brother.
I absolutely agree with LA. It's something she did. People make mistakes. You can't damn them for life for messing up. Second chances. People learn, they grow as people, and hell, in 4 years it could be something that the Olympic Committee says it's okay, but it's not now, and so she's going to learn and grow from it, and that's what it is.
All right. So that's a good one right there. It's a tough situation all the way around. I think the biggest thing that I'll take away from this is she could have ran away from it. She could have said, hey, I think I should run. She didn't do any of that. She wants to run. It's obvious, but she took her responsibility. She didn't go out there and try to do all this crazy stuff. She's got most public opinion is on her side. So in my opinion, I wish they would have let her run, but hey, the rules are the rules. All right, y'all, we're going to swing to our next topic. And this one, we're talking about the offseason that is coming up. Yeah, we're in the midst of the NBA Finals right now, and we're seeing a lot of things going on, but we're talking a little bit about the offseason. These two guys right here, Kawhi Leonard and Chris Paul, will be free agents if they decide to opt out of their player option this offseason. So the question at hand for my guys on the panel, if you got to choose one of these guys to sign, who are you signing to be the guy to lead your team? And I'm going to start this one off with LA. Who are you going to lead? Who are you going to get to lead your team, I should say?
I'm signing Chris Paul. Because of obvious reasons, leadership. Basically, you have that coach on the floor with them. He'll be cheaper because he's older. So you're not breaking the bank to get him. I mean, you'll pay him a pretty penny, but you're not going to pay as much as you would have to get a Kawhi Leonard. Also with Kawhi Leonard, you're starting to see this kind of pattern with him when he's going from team to team. It's always some kind of weird story coming out where Pookie and them told Kawhi not to go and play or something like that because he got injured and stuff. I don't care about Pookie and them, man. Yo, come to me yourself. Talk to me yourself. But it seems like there's some kind of stigma that, he's listening to his circle more. And it just seems like Kawhi will give you more drama than Chris Paul will. And like I said, every team that Chris Paul has been added to, we've seen just a change. Just things have just automatically changed. And we've seen that Chris Paul have been able to get in people's faces. They're not fighting about it. They're not complaining about it. They know he is there. He is showing love, and he's trying to get the job done. So give me Chris Paul all day.
All right. Let's go to I'm gonna go to Jay on this one. Jay, who are you signing in the offseason?
I absolutely 100% agree with LA. Chris Paul, we're talking about he's finally gotten to the finals, possibility of winning it. But he's always, unless he's hurt, been in the playoffs, and he's made his team better all around. Kawhi is like days of our lives. You don't know whether he's going to be mad at the medical staff or the floor sweepers or what the hell's going on with him. So, no, Kawhi, yeah, it's Chris Paul. Even if he's 45, I'm still going to take Chris Paul.
All right, Richard, who are you taking in this situation?
I am going to go with Chris Paul. I like his consistency and his leadership. And Kawhi, like I said, again, I don't follow basketball as religiously as other sports, but I know that here's a guy who went and won a championship, and never have I ever, with Toronto, and then left. And it's like, okay, like what? I get it. It's the world of sports we live in, but I want a guy who I think is going to make the team better, make the guys around him better, and that's going to be grateful for where he's at. And I think that is the kind of guy I want leading my team into the next season.
All right, this is starting to look like the Chris Paul love fest here. What about you, Joe? What are you thinking here?
Well, I love Chris Paul, so I could finish it off and agree 100%, but I guess I'll be devil's advocate for once and just look at the other spectrum or the other side of it for once. Paul's aging. Phoenix had a great year, and there's always turmoil. My theme of this show has been, if you get a chance to blow it, these teams that do, they will. And so the Clippers look like a team that always seems to blow it. So whether if it's Kawhi speaking or doing his agent, Pookie telling him what to do, or if it's Steve Ballmer saying we got to win now, or Tyronn Lue saying this is how we have to do it, I see it blowing up in the Clippers. And my thing is that somebody's going to pay max for Kawhi. They're going to question Chris Paul, even if he wins chip or not. And like I said, I love Chris Paul. I could have said everything everybody else said, but I did not want to. So I just slid over to the Kawhi bandwagon once. And the owners love him because he don't talk.
All right, LA, this is your chance to fire back, brother.
Those are all good points. I mean, yeah, if you want to look on the other side of Kawhi, of course, he's younger. He doesn't say anything. I mean, Pookie and them does, but he doesn't say anything. So you don't gotta worry about too much about that. I think it's just all boils down to how your team is built as well. If you need that one superstar to get you to that next level, then yeah, okay, sign up Kawhi. But if you need a floor general, somebody to handle the rock, then go ahead and get Chris Paul.
All right, Jay, your chance to fire back, sir.
For me, Chris Paul, if he wins the chip, my opinion, he's going to retire. 36 years old. Kawhi is the drama train with Pookie, which I don't even know who the hell that is because I'm
nobody does.
I follow. Huh?
Nobody does.
Nobody does.
That's the point.
But for me, if I'm looking for somebody that's going to lead my team, I'd make a trade for Damian Lillard because he's not appreciated up in Portland.
All right, Richie, your chance to fire back, sir.
I'm going to fire back and say that the Suns need to go ahead and just re-sign Chris Paul because you don't want him out there on another team. Keep this hot streak going, and Kawhi can go wherever he wants to. But I think this is a great opportunity for the Suns. I hope they get it. I hope Chris Paul reaches that mountaintop. So let's go Suns.
All right. Joe, let's finish it up. Fire it all, baby.
I'm going to the Heat.
Say the word of the subject was lead. We cannot mention Kawhi Leonard with lead. He is not a leader. He won with the Spurs, who taught him how to win. And then he went to Toronto and gimped his way to a championship with a 3-rim shot. I need to see him lead, or it's always going to be Chris Paul as the answer.
All right. I love it. Great way to finish that one up there. Only thing I would say about this is if this was, we'll say 3 years ago, no one would say Chris Paul. That tells you how much things have changed. And come on now, let's think about it. Kawhi Leonard, 2-3 years ago, everybody would have picked Kawhi. Everybody in the third cousin wanted Kawhi. Come on, LA.
He was the hot commodity. He was defensive player along with, a scoring machine.
No. If I was a video game, Jay, Kawhi was an 80 to a 91 to a 97. That's how big his leaps came out of nowhere. Now, he did win while this all happened, but he did not come out a great shooter, a great facilitator. He's still not a great playmaker.
But Chris Paul has always had the stigma over his head of not being able to make that next step. That's the thing.
With losers. He's played with the Clippers and the Pelicans. Would you say, Richard, would you say, what are they, the never evers? The never ever have I's to Chris Paul.
No, never have I evers, man. I love them.
Exactly.
Now, LA, before we move on, I see you making faces, man. I need to know what you think about that because I'm just saying, I feel like a couple years ago, no brainer is Kawhi. But what are your thoughts on that before we move on?
The only reason why I guess it would have been a debate in my mind is just because it wasn't that we didn't think Chris Paul could win. It's the fact that the dude just needed a hamstring transplant or something. Like he was just always daggone injured. And, and even this year he got injured and we was like, dang, come on, man. Like, I think literally he must have pissed off like a voodoo witch somewhere or something like that.
In New Orleans.
When he was in New Orleans. So
the voodoo was real. His boxers are somewhere in somebody's front yard in New Orleans.
Wow. Right.
Oh,
that's great. All right. So we're going to go to our last main topic here. Don't mind the horrible picture. But this next one, we're going to talk about of the NFL, and we're going to go back here and try to figure out, ladies and gentlemen, who's the most underrated player in the NFL, or at least in your opinion, who the most underrated player is in the NFL. So with this one, I'm going to start this one off of Richard because I see him pumping the roof here.
Well, before you start the clock, though, I have a clarifying question because this one's a little loaded. Are we talking about strictly the most underrated player or the most underappreciated player?
Ooh, well, you know what? Because I'm generous, I'll let you go either or on that one. I'll let you decide which one you feel. But if you want, and you know what? If you want to do both, you can do both. If not, you do. Your choice. That's how generous I am, Richard. You go ahead, my man.
Because you're generous? Oh, shut up.
I'm just saying.
Richard's going for extra credit and stuff. Ain't nobody.
All right, Richard, who you got on this one, brother?
Okay, so there was a couple of choices that I had that I was thinking about as an Eastern Washington fan, being native from there. I thought Cooper Kupp is a great choice. We'll see what he does with Stafford, though. But he was consistent up until he got injured, which happens more frequently than I'd like to admit. Then I thought, that there was a couple of other guys. As a Niners fan, there's Dre Greenlaw. We've got that big goal line stand. But I think, since we talked about Baker Mayfield earlier and whether or not we should pay him, I think Nick Chubb is probably the most underrated, underappreciated player because you've got a running back and who the conversation is CMC, Saquon Barkley, Dalvin Cook. You've got this list of guys, but yet when CMC got sidelined last year, I remember that moment in fantasy football. Here comes Nick Chubb, who I drafted, and the guy was captain consistency all season long. And you look at Cleveland's success, you don't have that without Nick Chubb. So I think that if you're going to talk about underrated, underappreciated guys, look no further than Cleveland, Ohio, because Nick Chubb was getting it done.
LA is so happy right now. So I'm going to LA next.
You're welcome.
LA, I'm going to you next. LA, who's the most underappreciated, most underrated player in the NFL?
Well, I'm going to keep it home, too. I actually did think about Nick Chubb at first, but I'm going to go with one of the main reasons why Nick Chubb is successful, and that is right guard Wyatt Teller. A lot of people do not know that name, but he actually was the second highest rated guard in the league, according to PFF. And the Browns actually averaged over 6 yards per carry when he was in, and he also kept Baker Mayfield upright. Very underrated guard. He's only 26 years old. And he's actually coming up for a contract extension as well, which is something y'all were talking about earlier. One of those guys we're going to have to lock up. So definitely want to give a shout out to Wyatt Teller.
I love it. Look, Cleveland love to get this thing started.
No,
Joe.
He's one of the best polling guards in the league, hands down.
And there's a video of him too carrying a grown alligator over his shoulder. He hunted it or something and then just carried it over his shoulder.
Who are y'all signing in Cleveland, man? Who are y'all
off-season workouts?
Like, hey, I want Grizzly Bear Adams. Go give me the guy from Montana. I don't care what he does. He's pulling alligators. He's pulling alligators. Joe, give me your choice on this one, brother.
Speaking of the mountains and Mile High, there's a wide receiver out there, Mr. Sutton, I think, that has not played with a legit quarterback, with a legit QB1 in his career and still manages to put up numbers. I am so biased to be Terry McLaurin as my pick because he did similar things, and I'm a Washington football fan. But what Sutton is doing with no offensive quarterback system intact, with a head coach that's defensive minded and outdated, and you still can buy that Cortland Sutton, it can get you 100 yards, can get you a one-on-one matchup, and he just consistently does it. Most wide receivers are prima donnas. We're talking about the prima donna crew. They cry. They cry when it's not going to. Odell didn't even want to cry. He just let everybody else cry for him in New York when it went to shit. But when we're talking about Cortland dealing what he's had to deal with in Denver.
Was it Pookie that cried for him?
I don't know, man. Pookie on the west.
Well, it's an them. You gotta say Pookie and them.
Pookie and them.
We need the contract. Jay, who you got on this one, brother?
All right, so I don't feel so bad going this way because I know where LA went. And so for me, I'm going complete opposite side of the ball, defensive. And since he's come in the league in 2012, it's Levante David has been the best off the ball linebacker in the league, hands down. Every year but 1 year, he's had over 100 tackles, 3 sacks average, and at least 1.5 interceptions. He he's everywhere, and he is taken Devin White and put him under his wing. I love Levante David. Remember how pumped I was when we drafted him, Darrell?
Yeah,
After we
I remember.
got that
That's
fucking
what I was about to
kicker.
ask. What team he plays for?
All right. For a chance to Richard, I'm gonna go ahead and give you, brother, your chance to fire back, bro.
I don't think that you can argue against Nick Chubb, but other consideration, I would say Ricardo Lockett. But it really depends on the fan base and if they appreciate him or overrate him or not. But there's a lot of guys that are unsung heroes. But I just think if you're a fantasy football player like myself, and if you're somebody that appreciates shouldering the workload when there's a lot of questions about your quarterback, you really can't go wrong when it comes to a runner and a grinder like Nick Chubb. So I'm going to say undisputed, underrated, underappreciated player right now.
All right. LA, back to you, brother. Fire back.
I don't really have no fire to fire back. I think my pick was pretty damn good, if I may say so.
I love it. Joe, that might be the quickest fire back ever. Joe, what do you got?
I might need his 20 seconds additional because he got a double cherry on his Sunday. And he got to talk about his. Richard, that was an awesome Nick Chubb reference. Quimby, you named a Buccaneer. So I'm just going to say that I had to throw my Washington guy in, and I had to throw dirt on the Giants while giving you somebody in a different conference. I'm just saying.
Yeah, you can ask Darrell because I did talk. Terry McLaurin is one of the best wide receivers in the league. An interview that I did with him his rookie year was about his dad being a head coach and the way that he runs his routes perfectly. He is amazing. So, but I didn't want to. It was a Buckeye or a Buccaneer, so I'm fucked either way.
I know that's what was coming out of my mouth next.
Hey, you go with what you know. You go with what you know. Now, Jay, I'm guessing that was your fire back, so we're not even gonna go. You feel good about that?
I'm gonna say,
go ahead.
The guards don't get that much love because the other guy I was talking about was Ali Marpet, who's a Buccaneer, but he is in the top 5 of PFF since he's been drafted. So,
all right. Okay,
I mean, the linemen are in the trenches. We all play fantasy football, Richard, so not trying to take anything away from the guys that make the touchdowns, but they wouldn't make touchdowns if it wasn't for the good blocking.
I'll give you that. I'll definitely give you that. See, that's tough for me because I don't even have nobody. I thought about this long and hard. I was like, man, I didn't know where I wanted to go. I don't really have nobody on Green Bay because Aaron Rodgers
Kevin King.
No. I'm still trying to trade Kevin King for some Skittles. Anybody that wants him at this point. If I see him, if he gives up one more touchdown, I'm personally going to Green Bay. I know I might get beat up, but I'm gonna give it a shot. That's all I got. That's all I got for that. All right, everybody. Now it's time for my favorite segment of the
fire, burn on. Fire, burn on. Fire. Legacy on fire.
All right, it is time to put out the fire, and I'm intrigued in this one because I think we're going to get some good ones here. I really don't know where I want to start with first. I'm gonna actually. If anybody wants to start first, raise your hand, and I will let them go first. That's how generous I'm feeling. Nobody?
Oh shit!
Okay.
I'll do it.
Jay said he would start first. Jay, put out the fire.
So I had a couple, and I ran them by Darrell because of my PC and the fact that I have a trucker's mouth. But my thing, the Rachel Nichols situation. and the cancel culture. I have a problem with that because everybody's so quick to try to save their company's ass, or there's no standing behind their employees. And whoever did the dirty on recording the conversation and then releasing it, they need kicked in the face. Because it's against, pretty much your First Amendment rights. Now, is she wrong for what she said? A little bit, yeah, because, you need diversity. I'm not going to disagree with that. But at the same time, Rachel Nichols has been doing this for how long? And I don't care what they said she slept with or who she did. That didn't get her the interviews. That just got her, to calm down.
All right, Richard, I'm going to go to you on this one, brother. Your chance to put out the fire.
How much time I got on this one?
It's just go. Go.
Okay. All right. Look. As somebody in the media, and I get tired of it. Like this whole trying to single out one player in a sport that's the greatest team sport, like the NFL, is exhausting. And I mean, we're talking about Madden covers, the NFL Top 100, MVP every year, and it's always the same guys until they find their new one. And it's just exhausting to keep up with because it's like it's not even a big thing anymore. You get these guys that are just forced down your throat year after year until they're not the guy anymore, and then they just move on to the next one. And I love how the NFL has gone all in so hard on Pat Mahomes, and then it's Lamar Jackson, and then it's Tom Brady again, and it just gets ridiculous because it's a team sport, and there's 11 guys on both sides of the ball that make this whole thing happen. And how caught up the media has gotten with glorifying just one person, and it changes year to year. I'm over it, man. Like, I just want the media to appreciate the sport for what it is, give some guys beyond the quarterback position some shine, but I don't think that that's going to be happening anytime soon. We may be past the point of no return, but the media, as Jay, kind of alluded to, but kind of a different topic on it. Yeah, it's something's got to get fixed with that because I'm over it.
Well, I will say this, Richard, I am definitely down for the Madden team picture on the front. I mean, I'm down for that. I mean, but it needs to be one of the ones where everybody's in the end zone after the touchdown. And, after they make a defensive play, I need one of these right here. I need the Dougie, whatever they got going on. I need to see that on the Madden cover. I ain't mad at that. Joe, it's your chance, brother, to put out the fire.
The fire is too big for me to put out, but I'm going to blow it as hard as I can because I'm telling you something right now. The NFL, Major League Baseball, NBA, they all have this big, huge platform to lead. And as you saw, the NBA led this year, showing how basketball or sports could return within this crisis that we were dealing with the pandemic. So with so many changes that happen like that, you mean to tell me Virginia hasn't changed any public schooling with how they do sports? NCAA still holding on to their old strings. This was the perfect opportunity with stuff shut down to rewrite the script. It kills me, these people that don't want to accept change. Change is inevitable. If you get on and make those changes, you might be able to stay in that mansion. But these NCAA committee guys, these college board members, because that's who essentially is the NCAA, which is the presidents of these Power Fives, they're on the clock. Your pension is on the clock because I hope you've saved up enough for the billions NCAA tournament has made for you to be trying to compare yourself to kids going out asking to be signed for likeness, to get free crab cakes or to get free whatever, and you want to compare it to these kids, and you're getting $6 billion on a tournament, and we give it to schools, but we know how that goes.
Don't hurt them.
The schools are making millions of dollars of that you have to pay back for the next 20 years after you graduate college.
No, you got a scholarship. You get $200,000 from us. Take education. No, we're gonna give you $200,000. It's really $200,000, Jay. You don't want to pay the $200,000? Like, come on, man. $200,000, and that kid brought you $10 million in one season.
Don't forget, you got Pookie and everybody else over there in the corner.
Speaking of Puka and them, LA, go ahead and put out the fire, man. Tell them about Puka and them.
So this is unique, okay? So hey kids, this is LA here, and I'm gonna give you some surefire tips on how to debate anything on the internet, okay? Step 1, ladies and gentlemen, is if you're not educated enough on a subject, it is okay to keep scrolling. Step two, if you can't stick to your point, keep scrolling. All right? That's one of the things that is pissing me off lately with all these hot topic issues and stuff like that. Everybody always wants to come out of left field. They want to give their 2 cents and stuff like that. And really, you don't have to talk about everything. If you're not educated enough on it, it's okay to go research. And you still don't have to come back and comment, okay? Just go do some research and be okay with it. But what we're getting to now, especially what we're seeing in the mainstream media, I hate to call out his name like that, but like with Stephen A., right? He always, like every other week, is getting caught on a video saying some kind of sports comment or something like that and didn't do no research. His team didn't give him the right cards or something like that. And he's always saying something way over somewhere else, right? And he looks stupid. So like now it's a blooper. So my thing is like, you don't have to feel the need to comment on everything. And that's why so many people get caught up in all these controversies and stuff like that too. Because they say something that don't make sense. And then all of a sudden, a whole nother demographic of people you just upset because you said this comment thinking it was this way, but really it meant something else another way. So again, kids, follow those simple steps and you'll be A-okay.
You forgot one though, LA. Don't get hurt over everything.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
that's why I said. That's why I said if you can't stick to your point, keep scrolling.
All right, everybody. Look, that is it for this episode 15 of Legacy on Fire. Before we get off of here, I want to give everybody a chance to say a little something. Jay, anything you want to say before you go?
No, man. Thank you all for coming on. God bless you. I hope you all have a great, rest of the season. I know Richard's getting ready for some downtime, so get some vacay, spend some time with the wife. Have some surf and turf.
Joe, anything you want to say before we go, brother?
Man, appreciate everybody. Appreciate the conversation. Commonwealth Sports Talk Season 4, 15 days. LegacyMaker has done an outstanding job. We've done a great job networking and communicating with everybody. So we want to continue to outreach and reach out to those who are in tune and want that knowledge, right, LA?
Well, there's a nice segue. LA, go ahead, man. Tell us before we go, give us anything, man. Shout out the brand, whole 9 yards, brother.
No, I definitely appreciate you guys for having me on. Great linking up with you, Richard and Joe. So we're going to link up after, make sure we exchange information and whatnot. Again, follow the 3-point conversion at 3PTC and VSRN on all your major social media networks. Cover just a lot of stuff. Me personally will be firing back up the podcast soon at Brownstown, USA. So check that out as far as the Cleveland Browns and everything. And then also, working on some side stuff as well. So, but like I said, again, very, very fun show. Love the show. And thank you guys for having me on.
No problem, brother. LA, me and Jay have been trying to get you on the show for a hot minute. We always said we were going to get it. And then I said, Jay, I think this is the time. This is the time. And so we wanted to make sure we get you on there. But before I go to Richard, just one more time. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Just one more time. One more time, ladies and gentlemen. Now,
you just surf for the turf.
Before we get out of here, Richard, what you got, brother?
So I do want to thank you guys for having me on the year anniversary of when I had you on my show. And it's been a lot of fun to debate with you guys, and the fan show should have new content coming up. Hopefully at the end of the month is when I'm aiming for it, because we had to take a little bit of a break. But before we get there, the Beef have a playoff game Friday, and we got a championship to win.
There you go. Good luck.
Go Beef. Go Beef.
All right. Once again, everybody, I'm your man, Darrell Owens. Next week, we got episode 16 coming up. We've got 2 guests. Already got some ladies coming on. We don't have the ladies' night one coming yet, but we do got some ladies on. Miss Ashley Baker is coming on. Also, Michael Ramos is also coming.
Woo, that show,
LA started smiling a little too hard there, LA.
that show about to be off the
Yeah,
chain
I know.
already.
So we do that, and we'll have another.
Now, this is news to me. When you were gonna tell me that I had to be appropriate?
Ta-da! You got a week.
7-day notice.
You got a 7-day notice.
Had to get all the Fraggle Rocks out you can.
All right,
Oh,
everybody.
Jesus.
Lawrence, L.A. Broadus, Richard Tieman, Joe Dillard Jr., my man J.R. Quimby. Until next time, y'all. Peace.